So give us an update on Parallel Products. I spoke with you about it, this week, and wanted to have you come on. So explain what, if anything, is going on with Parallel Products.
So right now they're in the process, I believe, of drafting their final environmental impact report. And what that is, it's obviously a state hurdle that they have to show that they're going to comply with all the environmental laws and regulations. They submitted a draft environmental impact report several months ago. I think it was in February. That it pretty much raised a number of concerns that I had and that Rep. Schmidt had regarding this expansion. And so what we did is we contacted the Mass DEP in early March, Paul and I, on our concerns and on these issues. And we made it clear that if the final, because the draft, because there's two processes right here. So you have the draft, which is the DEIR, which has already been done, and then you have the final, which is the FEIR, and they're between the two right now. So the point we were making to the DEP was that if you issue a final environmental impact report, as they did with the draft, that they're going to have to explain themselves on a number of issues. So right now that's where they're at. It's pretty much status quo, and it has been for the last several months because of the COVID crisis. And so rest assured that there has been no final movement on this project. Believe me, you would have heard from me and Paul and other officials had that happened.
Perfect. Now, just explain something to do with some smokestacks, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, at first, and I've heard from Parallel Products since I made this concern public, and so I just wanted to say that, to be fair off the bat. But yeah. So my concern regarding the smokestacks was that there are about 19 of them. 12 of which were, I think, 70 feet, and another 7 or so, which are going to be 40 feet. So I just had concerns with this because there are so many renderings of this project, all over the place, from all the public disclosures public discussions we've had to online stuff, and none of the renderings had those smokestacks. So we raised that in our letter to the DEP. And they have since told me that they have those renderings up with the smokestacks now, and I have seen them. I just thought that should have been clarified for the neighborhood and for the people in New Bedford regarding that issue. And who knows? These smokestacks could be dispensing quality clean air. Obviously, that's not the case. But and so I just wanted to make clear to the DEP that when they review this issue, that they take into account that the air quality is going to be affected in that area if you're going to have 12 giant smokestacks with emissions coming out.
No, we're speaking with State Representative Chris Hendricks, who represents all of Acushnet and part of the north end of New Bedford. Yeah, Chris. Well, so you're going over these plans with a fine-tooth comb, and so that jumps out at you, and so you want to put them on notice, right? You're paying attention,
right? Yeah. So that's what we did, and we had a number of other issues. In the draft environmental impact report certificate, which is from the state, they also raised those concerns. They said the PFAS concern, which is a very toxic chemical that's a byproduct of the biosolids processing, which is what they want to do. And it's PFAS is the chemical, and it's basically a group of toxic chemicals that can come out during this process. And the state has been rerouting their regulations to regulate this stuff. They're making it way more restrictive than on the federal level, and so we just wanted to make sure that Parallel Products is aware of that they might have to overhaul their PFAS regulation policy in the middle of all this. So we wanted to make that clear, and they also brought up a whole other list of issues with the noise, traffic, and things of that nature. And so they certainly have a big burden to show that they have accounted for all these things, and if they haven't accounted for all these things 100%, then then I hope this project never gets off the ground, quite frankly. But we'll certainly have to see what the Mass DEP says about the final environmental impact statement report coming up soon.
All right, so that's Parallel Products. So then the other big issue is PJ Keating's. I think it's a tar factory, or was?
No, it's a quarry. It's
a quarry. Okay,
processing
explain
quarry. So they've been there for 100 years. This quarry, and so for decades there have been issues with the neighbors in that immediate area, and I know them all well now. Regarding dust on their properties, dust coming over from the quarry to the private residences. We've had tons of foundation damage to many homes because they blasted that quarry. So this is a number of headaches type issues and quality of life issues regarding that quarry, and it has been for years. So what they're trying to do now is they're trying to move their asphalt tank, if you will, closer to the street on the same property. And because as it stands right now, the closest home to that asphalt processing is about 1,000 feet. Once they move it, the nearest home is going to be 300 something feet. So this is going to be a huge quality of life change in that neighborhood. And if anybody's driven by that quarry, you don't have to be a scientist to know that that's the dust that comes out of there. I drove by 2 days ago. It was a bright, sunny day, and I could hardly see through it.
This is the one on Main Street in Acushnet, right by Century House, and
right across the street
right there. Yep.
From Century House. Yep. And so what I did is I wrote a letter, and I got the state once Chief Gallagher raised a number of concerns that the state wasn't doing its part to maintain and oversee and oversee this facility. I immediately contacted them, and they shut it down. They shut down the quarry. Now they can still do the quarry operations like they normally do, but that asphalt move is put on hold right now. So that's it's a win certainly for the residents of Acushnet to make sure that they're doing everything safe and they're accounting for all the emissions that are going to be coming out of that property, especially once they make that move. The asphalt tank move.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate that update for us on PJ Keating and Acushnet, and of course Parallel Products for the North End of New Bedford, Chris. Listen, we'll let you go. I know this was short notice, but I do appreciate you getting in touch with us and helping us straight out any misconstrued facts or non-existent facts that got created and thrown on the table to the confusion of many, including myself. So thanks for giving us a call and for helping straighten that out.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
All right, have a great weekend. Thanks. That was State Representative Chris Hendricks. And again, we'd had this